When I'm at the bench, I love to experiment, and that's what happened with today's fly, and it's actually called Dawn Swimming Micro Leech. As you see in the show, I only tied the one and it was quite successful. So make sure you have these materials ready before you tie the fly. For the hook, we'll use a size 14 swimming nymph, some 6/0 black thread to tie with, a 7/64 inch gold bead as the bead, some UV2 fine black dubbing for the butt, some maroon purple sparkle dub for the body. We'll use some red ultra wire as a dubbing wire, and some UV2 fine black dubbing for the head. To start the fly off, I've put my gold bead onto the hook and I've wrapped on my thread. I'm just going to wind it to the rear of the hook. Take some of my black UV dubbing and I'm just going to dub it onto my thread, and very fine. Just a small amount of dubbing. You don't need a whole bunch because we're just going to form a butt on the fly, and then we're going to pick that out, just flare it out a little bit at the end. It almost forms a bit of a butt and a tail. It's a combination. So once it's all dubbed in, wrap it on, and then we'll pick it out. Once the butt's tied in and you've actually picked it out to form a bit of a tail, I'm going to take some of my fine red wire and wrap it in right on your hook. Take it back to where you created the butt. And then what I'm going to do is just take just form a dubbing brush. And we don't want it to be too big, but allow yourself enough room that you can cover the body with dub. Wrap over that thread just to form a nice little dubbing loop so you can put the dubbing in. Cut off any excess. And then actually take some of the maroon purple stillwater dubbing, which is really nice material, and very loosely put it in between the wire that you've created for your dubbing brush. And again, make sure you don't put too much in, just keep it nice and thin, allow it to splay out, and then start winding the material or winding your wire to form a dubbing brush. Now that the dubbing brush is formed, I'm going to wind this forward, and we really want that red wire to stand out underneath. So as we wind forward, the materials will compress down onto the hook a little bit, but we're going to pick that out later. And I go right to the bend where that swimming hook actually turns up towards the eyelet. So go as far as that so you have a little room behind your bead and tie off there. Now, as one of the last steps, just at the head, I'm going to take some more of my UV black dubbing and I'm going to dub it directly onto the thread. And you want it a little bit fuller, a little bit more than you put on for the butt, because we're going to actually pick this out after and blend it into the body that we just put in. Once that's dubbed onto your thread, just wind it forward to create the head on the fly, right behind the bead. And whip finish. Now to finish the fly off, I've taken my dubbing pick and I'm going to pick out the body so it's very leechy. And you can see the differentiation in colors from the head through the body to the tail. So I've got that darker color at the head and a little darker color at the tail with some UV tints to it. And of course I've got that great maroon kind of claret color all through the middle body. And once you pick it all together, it forms a real nice little micro leech. Really distinct colors. As you've seen on the show today, this pattern has been very effective, and it's too bad I only had one. I could have shared another one with Brian. But there's so many new materials coming out for tying, and especially this UV material along with the traditional materials. If you combine the two, you can make some very effective patterns. To watch all our latest Sport Fishing on the Fly episodes and to order Sport Fishing on the Fly merchandise, head to www.sfotf.ca. And if you would like to book an adventure like this one shown, head to ontheflyadventures.ca and book yourself the trip of a lifetime.